Well, more like good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We're going back into that world of stupid that is the JRC. But before we get going, the usual disclaimers and the usual warning. We're about to get a lot of smoke blown up our ass, folks. We're going to have Dr. Matthew Israel with his own bias trying to paint the MDRI report as a particular color. I have up here the living archive, which you also will find link in the description box, which we'll go over that here in a minute, which I can systematically use to prove that he's full of shit. So, to the disclaimers, shall we? In the description box, you're going to find a link to the article that the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read. It is written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistics for autistics, wherein they interviewed and surveyed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so-called behavior modification program. Matter of fact, the JRC doesn't want you to read this article so much, they have threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove it from their website. NeuroClastic has refused, so you know the drill. Please read that article, read it again, then read it again. Share it on all your social media. We also have linked in there NeuroClastic's public statement regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as our link to the GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding in case the JRC has the balls to see through with their threat. We also have linked in there the article by Ozarks First in regards to the Agape boarding school / Stone for Help situation out in Stockton, Missouri. Before we get into that, Missouri, what the fuck are you on? Is there any reason you want to create a Christian-themed boarding school and then give it a name based on the Old Testament? You know what a stone for help means, right? In the Old Testament? It's when they would tie your ass to a pole and then stone you to death. Although considering what we're talking about, it's probably pretty accurate. Let that be a warning and a red flag to people who think sending your kid to what is essentially boot camp for teenagers, if that's going to be a good idea. Alright, please read that article. Share it on all your social media. As always, folks, you know the drill there. Now, what is this situation? Well, this is a Christian-themed boarding school based out of Stockton, Missouri. Again, that takes in so-called trouble-mailed teens. That has impending over 21 civil lawsuits, claims, and allegations leveled against it, all which have been substantiated by the hard evidence, including ER documents found during the investigation done by the Missouri Department of Social Services, and they include the following: sodomy, rape, sexual assault, child abuse, psychological and emotional abuse, child trafficking, starvation, and that's just for starters. They have one former staff member arrested by the FBI. Another, a doctor, get this, Paul, a fucking doctor who still lives on the premises after there's been multiple, backed by evidence, claims against him of sodomy, rape, and sexual assault of the boys there, and he still lives on the property. Yeah, wow, right? I hate this state. But moving on. So we've got an attorney general who is yet to do anything in regards to this school, in spite of the hard evidence in regards to the pedophiles there, but gotta attack those drag queens, right? Going down to Martha's Vineyard on a weekend night, minding their own fucking business. Can't have that. And we had a governor that's right along with it, who now has full control over the Missouri National Guard. So, you know, send help. We accept donations of cash and plane tickets. Right, Paul?
What are we doing?
Please send help. We accept donations of money and plane tickets to get the hell out of this state.
Yep.
We need some for our friends, too.
We will also accept passage on a cargo ship.
We gotta have a lot of room, though, because we've got friends, some of them that are a part of that community. Maybe a party barge that also serves as a long voyage. You get what we're saying here, so please read that article. We got the pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign, too, including Autistic Hoya's massive archive, which we're going to use to basically destroy Matthew Israel's arguments. We also have a link to Jennifer Masamba's behavioral sheet of shockable offenses, a clip out of the 7-hour ordeal undergone by Andre McCollins back in 2002, the templates, and the ever-present self-explanatory Change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. When we discuss the JRC, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please use your headphones, all right? This channel is marked not for children for a reason. We use profanity and we speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger, parental supervision, very obviously advised. Trigger warning, we are about to once again descend into the mad ravings and the nonsensical ravings of the lunatic mind known as Dr. Matthew Israel. You're going to hear gaslighting, victim blaming, pseudoscience, lies. And I love showing him up on his lies, in case anyone's wondering. Enough ableism and bigotry to circle the globe 1,000 times coming out of the mouth of an individual with a massive God complex. So be advised, right? Okay. So this is going to be his so-called evidence about why we're biased and why you should dismiss everything MDRI says. And I'm going to destroy those arguments by using Autistic Hoya's massive archive. Several years ago, the president of the board of directors of MDRI came to Boston and testified in favor of a bill in Massachusetts legislature that would have banned the use of adversives. Oh, the horror! See, it shows he's biased. He didn't even try to see our side. He read your bullshit, Doctor. Shall we? You don't believe us. You never listened. This is testimony, op-eds, blogs, news articles. We've gone through this before, but what I'm trying to get to, as you notice, we've got a lot of them. Oh, what is this, Doctor? What is this? Why, I believe it's from those who support you. In particular, what I want you to note is before this time, there's... Oh, look, Doctor, I believe those are your own words, aren't they? Oh, and look at this, 2008, 2007, 2006, 1994. Crazy, right? Again, Doctor. Literally again. Our opposition does not come from a place of a philosophical difference. It comes from evidence. I mean, I know there's many people in this world now that are all about my truth, but some of us bitches out there still prefer hard evidence to whatever you want to sugarcoat and sell this week. Y'all are no different from the snake oil salesman. Sit down. Moving on. In 2006, Dr. Sundrum wrote an op-ed piece in the Albany Times-Union that foreshadowed the MDRI report, mentioning torture 3 times in connection of the use of adversives. Because that's what it is, Doctor. That's what it is. When you punish someone, and it is punishing, Doctor, when you punish someone for acting within our own diagnosis, instead of using actual treatment. When you do nothing to find out what is triggering the behavior and create a treatment program from there, but instead would rather cause us some form of pain or discomfort. It's a word for that. It's called corporal punishment. Okay? All right? And when you use that on individuals acting within their neurology, because you can't be asked to do your fucking job and actually get a coherent treatment program that is crafted around that particular individual, what their triggers are, and what their needs are. It means you're essentially torturing us for simply being alive. All right? Spare me. A few paragraphs of this op-ed piece are reprinted below. It appears that the MDRI concluded that aversives were a form of torture long before they conducted their investigation. It's based off logic, doctor. I know you're allergic to it, but go with me here. Logic would dictate, based on the evidence at hand during this time period, which in fact was very well known starting circa 90s. Torture and punishment don't work with behavior modification. And the reason why that is you're still treating the problem. And you're not just treating the problem, the behavior. You're punishing us for the behavior without doing anything else. All you know how to do, doctor, is destroy. You don't know how to build up. A real, well-versed functional assessment could stop these kind of problems. Take the focus off of just nothing but behaviors in order to get a more cohesive whole and form an actual program for the individual that will actually work. You, however, would rather act like the abusive parent and then get indignant when called out on it. Maybe if you done your homework, doctor. You know what I'm saying? Why do we consider it torture? It's because it's unnecessary. You are ruling through fear, doctor. You are punishing us for how our neurology has us act when we are overwhelmed. You're doing nothing at all in any way, shape, form, or capacity to assist us in any way that would minimize these behaviors. No, a matter of fact, you will use your staff to grab and threaten and slam against the wall students at random times to force them into the behavior so that you can then punish them for it. For anybody else on the outside world, that looks completely batshit insane. And that's because it is, doctor. It's because it is. That's not treatment. That is torture. That is inhumane cruelty. And it is basically as obvious as a brick through the window. Okay? There's no way to misconstrue what you do to the kids there. No amount of your bullshit that you are about to spout is going to cause the screams of Andre McCollins to die down in the memories of every single last fucking one of us that's been fighting this. You can't make that go away, doctor. You want to know why it looks like Andre McCollins is being tortured in that video? It's because Andre McCollins was being tortured in that video. That's it. That's it. I'm going to close on that one. Sorry it's short, folks, but I did tell you they were going to start getting shorter. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So, folks, the usual, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit those comments. Do appreciate your time this morning. As always, we here at Spilling Tea do hope you have a good one. I will see you next video. Bye-bye.